Hi everyone, it's Paddy here from arithmetichub.com, thanking you for choosing this video, but reminding you that whilst this is one method to solve questions like this, it's not the only method. With that being said, let's explore this concept a little bit further.
Hi everyone, so today we're having a look at multi-step multiplication. Now this sounds a lot harder than it is, and it looks a lot harder than it is, but actually these types of questions, I think, once you get to the point where you can pick apart the information in them, actually these can be quite straightforward questions. It's just a case of being able to identify that key information and knowing what it is that you need to do with it. So let's have a look at how we're going to do that. So we start off with our method. First things first, we need to identify the key information in the question. Secondly, we need to multiply the first two numbers, and third, we need to multiply the remaining number in the question by your answer to part 2. Now this bit sounds complicated. It's not really when you see it in action. Sometimes it's just easier with these types of things to see it in action, because what this basically is three numbers multiplied together, and we've probably seen that in many sorts of ways before. So first thing, identify the key information in the question. Now this is really important for any reasoning question, but for this, when it's very, very wordy, I would say actually it becomes even more important. So we need to identify the key information in the question. Well, I know there's 4 eggs in a box. In fact, let's read the question together again first. There are 4 eggs in a box, there are 6 boxes in a crate, there are 15 crates in a lorry. How many eggs in the lorry? So, let's have a look at it again. 4 eggs in a box, 6 boxes in a crate, 4 eggs in a box, 6 boxes in a crate, 15 crates in a lorry. How many eggs are in the lorry? So we're looking for the total amount of eggs in the lorry. So the eggs, we have to imagine, start off as individual eggs, then 4 of them get put together in a box, then the box gets put together in a crate, and then the crates get put into a lorry, and it wants to know the total amount in the lorry. So our key information here, 4 eggs in a box, 6 boxes in a crate, 15 crates in a lorry. We need to work out the total amount of eggs in a lorry. Well, in terms of the key information we've got there, let's start off by working out how many eggs there are in a crate. We know there's 4 eggs in a box, we know there's 6 boxes in a crate, so all we would do is we would do 4 eggs in each box, 6 boxes in each crate. So all we would do is we would multiply those together. 4 times 6 is going to give me 24. So I know in each crate there are 24 eggs. Great. I know there's 15 crates in every lorry. So now what I've got is I've multiplied the first two numbers together, my 4 eggs and my 6 boxes. Now up to part 3 of the method. Multiply the remaining number of the question by my answer to part 2. My answer to part 2 is 24, and my remaining number is 15. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 24 multiplied by 15. Let's just check if that makes sense. 4 eggs in the box, 6 boxes in a crate. So now we've worked out how many are in a crate. And we know in a crate there's 24 and there's 15 total crates. So there's 24 eggs in each crate and there's 15 crates in the lorry. So if we multiply them together, we're going to get the total amount, aren't we? So now all I would do is I would do 24 multiplied by 15. 5 times 4 is going to give me 20. 5 times 2 is going to give me 10. Add the 2 is going to give me 12. Drop my 0, cross out my 5. 1 times 4 is going to give me 4. 1 times 2 is going to give me 2. I'm going to add them together. 0 add 0 is going to give me 0. 2 add 4 is going to give me 6. 1 add 2 is going to give me 3, for 360. So the total amount of eggs in my lorry is going to be 360. 4 times 6 was a 1 digit by 1 digit multiplication. This was a 2 digit by 2 digit multiplication. 1 digit by 1 digit multiplication, I know the method for. I know my times tables, I know my 4s, I know my 6s. 2 digit multiplication, I know how to do. I know how to set up the method, and then once I've done that, I can get to an answer. So all it was 2 separate multiplications using 2 slightly different methods to get to my answer here. We picked apart the key information, and actually the 2 operations, the 2 parts of the calculation I had to do weren't that difficult. 4 times 6 wasn't that difficult. 24 times 15, as soon as it set her up into a column method, well, a column multiplication method, I was able to do that. That wasn't that difficult either. So these types of questions were probably worth 2 marks on a stats paper. We were able to do that by just breaking it down and picking out that key information.
If you found this video useful, then I would massively appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you want to explore more methods or practice using the method we've looked at here, why not check out the teacher videos at arithmetichub.com. Arithmetic Hub has videos just like this on different methods, specifically targeting areas needed in Key Stage 2. There you can practice one particular skill or generate your own sets of calculations designed to challenge your understanding of all the topics covered in Years 3 to 6.